I don't know what type of programs you've tried before or, what you've done. Everybody's so different. But I'm going to take a wild guess that you have come across some things saying this certain food group is evil, or this, cut this completely from your diet, or this is the evil culprit to weight gain and obesity, blah, blah, blah. But seeing the research and seeing what actually works for the long term, not those restrictive diets that say, you have to completely cut calories to, almost nothing. And there's so much misinformation and so much crazy diets and different things out there in the media. So, it's my job as a health professional to cut through all of the misinformation and to give people the information that's going to actually work for the long term. Yo-yo dieting is when they typically try a very restrictive diet, so either very low carb or very, very low calorie. It's usually very, very low calorie. So, they think, I've gained all this weight and I have to get it off as quickly as possible. So I just have to completely cut out, everything or most things and, be miserable all the time and have no energy and get headaches. And that's just the way it is because I have to lose this weight. So that's a mindset that I have seen a lot of people in, or people have told me that they've been in until, they've tried all these things, these very restrictive things. They've lost the weight and then they end up, it wasn't sustainable for them. These restrictive diets also can alter your metabolism. Everybody has different opinion on carbohydrates, but many people feel better when they have them and feel more energy. It's not that carbs are evil. It's that there's way too much excess of carbohydrates, and especially refined carbohydrates, in our food system. It's way too easily accessible, and most of the refined carbohydrates that we have access to are low nutrient and they're high calorie, like baked goods, deep fried foods, candy, chips, things like that. They're very highly palatable, which means they taste great. We all know that. And they're everywhere. So, that's where carbs get their bad reputation. Over the past few decades, what's interesting is that the weight loss industry has grown exponentially, like makes billions and billions of dollars a year in profit. And it hasn't helped people overall. Like, we still have issues with, medical conditions, obesity, weight gain, things like that. So it's more complex than what some of these diet programs are trying to offer. It's more complex than saying, oh, lose 10 pounds in 10 days or whatever you might see. It's more complex than that. It's that we're eating over 400 calories more per day on average than we were 30 years ago. We're exercising less, there's more transportation. We don't have to walk as much to get places. There was less stress. Like, people are really, really busy nowadays. You got to make a living. Stress releases a hormone called cortisol that can make it more difficult to lose weight. One of the big reasons why it causes yo-yo dieting is because not eating enough can lower your metabolism, which we all know can make it easier to gain weight back. So if you don't get enough calories and protein that your body needs just to live and function throughout the day, you're going to lose muscle mass. And the more muscle mass that we have, the higher our metabolism. Therefore, if we lose our muscle mass, our metabolism lowers, and that's why when people do these restrictive diets, they usually feel really good about it at first, and then after a while they hit a plateau. And usually they need to, switch something up or start working with a health professional to help understand why they're hitting a plateau or where their metabolism is at. Another thing with restrictive diets is psychologically, it's just not sustainable over time for a couple different reasons. But when we tell ourselves that we can't have something that we really enjoy, our minds tend to want it even more. So you might be really motivated at first to give up whatever it is that you think is evil. But then after a while, if you feel restricted, if you feel like upset or anything that you can't have certain things that you like, over a while, psychology says that you're most likely going to binge on that thing. And then when you do, it just goes into this vicious cycle of, getting down on yourself then giving up, and then not reaching your goals. By saying, I believe that we should be able to eat 80% healthy, 20% treats here and there. If there's, for some reason, if you're the type of person where if it's in front of you, you're going to eat it, then until you can work on identifying the underlying reason as to why you eat it when it's in front of you and why you can't say no, then it is important to try to, cut back on those types of things that you have in your environment and in your house. And so things like chocolate and chips and ice cream and all those really tasty things that we tend to overeat on because they're tasty and they're really accessible. It is good to have less in the house, and then slowly work on developing healthier habits